Their position is, oh, so you're disabled. And the definition of disability for this program is you're unable to do any kind of work on a sustained basis, and this condition you have is going to last at least 12 consecutive months, or it's going to result in your death. That's really severe. Can you explain to me, if your condition is that severe, why aren't you seeing anybody? And I'm sorry, transportation, I live out in the boonies, I don't have money. Those will go nowhere in your disability case. And again, it might sound heartless and it might sound cold, but it's just the truth.
Yeah, because those are good reasons just in general. If we're just being rational, I mean, if you don't have transportation, you don't have money, and you don't have insurance,
Right.
in general, if we were just talking, friend to friend, that makes sense. So it is a good reason, but it's not gonna cut it for your Social Security
it's not
case.
Going to go anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not gonna look at that and be like, oh, okay, well then, because there's nothing else. If they don't use the medical evidence, what are they going to use? There's really, you can have you can have an MSS that has to be from the provider, and then you can have the medical records themselves that have to be from the provider, but it all has to point toward what's actually going on here.
Right.
Yeah, and then another thing, what you were saying is regular treatment. Keyword there is regular, or keyword is ongoing treatment. I talked to a lot of clients that they stopped working, say 2 years ago, a year ago or 2 years ago, and they were telling me about degenerative disc disease is one of the main things keeping them out of work. Arthritis in their knees. Maybe they had like a rotator cuff surgery, torn rotator cuff, but they had these surgeries like in the 90s.
Sure.
They had these surgeries 10 years ago, 20 years ago. We're not really interested in that, because if you have a surgery, say you're unable to work in 1999 and you have a surgery for it, and then you work from 2001 to 2021, you've already proven that you weren't disabled in that period.
That's right.
Because if you were disabled, you wouldn't be working full time. Right. And so
you had that condition, but it wasn't disabled.
Exactly. So ongoing treatment, we say that specifically because if you don't have treatment now, you really can't supplement that for treatment that you had 5 years ago or 10 years ago. It needs to actually be relevant for your case.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it's just ongoing treatment. It's almost damaging to your case to have, you saw a doctor suspiciously a month after you signed with Disability Consulting. And
for the first time in 6 years.
Yeah. and then since that time to the time the case has wended its way through an initial denial, and we appealed it, and a reconsideration denial, and we appealed it, and now we're in front of a judge. And the judge is looking at it and said, okay, well, you didn't have any treatment for about 5 years. You signed with this firm, about 14 months ago. Where's the treatment since that 14 months ago, one visit you made? And it's happened, and it doesn't embarrass me. It makes me sad for my client, but they'll say something like, well, Mr. Groves told me when I first, signed with his firm that I had to get treatment. So, I went in and saw my doctor. Mm-hmm. But did you continue?
Yeah.
No, I don't have any money, or, I don't have any transportation, or you had something that you went there and you had that one visit. And now what it looks like is, maybe you were trying to not deceive Social Security, but you're trying to check a box, and that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
I had my one visit, because my representative told me I had to. What about your health condition? Wouldn't it make more sense? Like, because of my health condition, I've been seeing this doctor, once every 2 months or whatever. But yeah it's ongoing treatment, tipper-topper of the totem pole. That's the number one thing that is going to help you and me win your case.
Yeah, and then real quick, and then I'll let you get to the second thing. For mental health, telehealth is huge.
Oh, sure.
Over the phones, a lot of people think, you can't use your transportation excuse if it's telehealth anyway. A lot of people think that, well, I got to get referred to this psychologist, I got to drive 15 miles. It's like, there's a lot of free mental health treatment in most states.
And they'll call, they'll
Yep.
call in your prescriptions
Yep, there you
to a really local, a really close drugstore to, absolutely.
Yeah, so telehealth totally counts.
Sure.
That's
Absolutely. It's treatment. Absolutely. Yeah.
If you have a question about your disability case, give us a call at 615-453-9151 Monday through Friday, or click the link in the description of this video.